for designing, and then each and everything to be carried out in the periodical manner. In the periodical manner. Without that, you can't do your research in a proper way. Okay. For that, first step is we are moving to the formulation of a problem. And another slide, and next slide, I am going to show the entire steps. First one is the identification of research problem, a review of related literature, or it can be called as a literature review, and formulation of hypothesis, research design, specific population, sample selection, ethical consideration, pilot study, data collection, data analysis and interpretation, finally communication and utilization. These are the steps to be followed while you are going to do the research. First one is the identification, next literature review, formulation, research design, population, sample, ethical, pilot, data collection, data analysis and interpretation, communication and utilization. These are the steps to be followed while the research to be done. Okay. Now, the identification of a research problem. This is a aim. This is the first step and primary thing and very important thing, because we can't go and search the identification of research problem and again we can't go and search for a problem in the middle of your work. So you have to select and you have to work on the research problem initially, then only we can able to do our research. So the identification of research problem is a very, very must thing. There is the question, we will have so many questions, but there won't be any answer. For that question, we have to find a solution. That is trying to find a solution, or already a solution will be there, that solution to be enhanced in order to find the correct or apt answer for your question. This is identifying the problem. We are going to work on this problem. For example, now it's a very familiar and popular one. There is no medicine for COVID. So we can take it as this is an your problem. A problem is there, no? Each and everyone is facing this problem. So we have to take this opportunity or research to do on the medicine. We can't, don't think that we are going to find the medicine means antiseptic or any tablets or injection like that. We are finding the way for COVID issues. Okay. The topic for research is finding the solution for our COVID issue or some other issue. You can go ahead with the what are the problems facing nowadays for handling online classes. With online classes, what are the problem and what are the solution for that problem? This kind of an identification can be done before your research. So the identification of research problem is a first step and foremost step to do in the research. Next, that is a literature review, where we are collecting the knowledges. Already the knowledges are based at books, library, journals, article and e-sources. Many of the sources are there where we can get the informations, already known informations that can be collected and it can be reviewed for regarding the medicines causes for the COVID. For example, our issue is the solve the problem on COVID issues. Okay. This is the collecting the knowledges. Already the knowledge will be there in the mode of books or in the libraries. In a collection of books, we can get it that journals. So many journals are there related to the medicine or COVID. We can go with that journals and we can search for that. Next one is there are numerous articles and e-sources are available. E-sources are available. From this we can have an idea. That is a methodology, analysis and synthesize the quality literature on a topic. Provide a firm foundation to your topic. This is a very important thing. We have to put a foundation, firm foundation on a topic or research area where we are going to work. In our case, it is in a COVID cases, so we have to go for these things and then demonstrate that proposed research contributes something new to the overall body of the knowledge of advance the research fields knowledge base. So entire thing is on a knowledge base. Entire thing as the knowledge base, and everything will be there. So we have to collect the information, related information of us, and we have to go with these things. This is a second step or second stage of your research. Second stage or second phase of your research. Then formulation of hypothesis. What is meant by hypothesis? It is nothing but a assumption or imagination of finding a result for our work. What we have started, once we have started the work, there may be some answer. That is a final outcome will be there. The outcome should be there. For that, we have to assume the question as well as the answer. Question as well as the answer. With this, we will find out a result. That is called a formulation of hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but an assumption or imagination or expectation. Expected outcome. Before solving the problem, our expectation is what? In this case, we have to find a solution. We have to find a solution, or we have to find the medicine for our disease, COVID disease. That is the final result. That assumption, that expectation, or that imagination to be done before finding the methods how to solve. So that is a question in first stage. We have to formulation the aim of the work. Next and second one and third one, we are formulation of the hypothesis. That is the imagination or expectations. Imaginations or expectations. The outcome may be right or wrong. That doesn't matter. But you have to find before solving the question, you have to find the answer. This is the answer. This is the question. That is the step 3, third one. Next one, research design. Research design is a strategy for answering your research question with using empirical data. That is having a data with your own and fixing a plan over that and making a decision for our overall aim and approach. That is a research design. This is nothing but before constructing a house, we are having a plan where the kitchen to be there, where the bedroom, where the reading room, and each and everything to be done before constructing the house. That is the overall plan of our house. Like that, the research design to be formed before doing your research work. Creating a research design means making a decisions about your overall aims and approach. The design should contain aim and approach. Aim, what is the aim? Finding a medicine or finding a solution for our COVID. What's the approach? That is different. In what way you are going to solve that? What way you are going to find the method or approaches. That is the overall design of next one is the specific population. Specific population means what is the domain? What is the domain we are going to use? Here, in our positive cases, those who are affected by the COVID are taken as samples or the data. For example, we can go with some other domain, like finding the students' performance of a college. So in that area, we are going to take students' data. That students' data are called as a domain. And end users, when we are going for a customer relationship research, where we have to find the end users' satisfaction or satisfactory level. For that reason, for that kind of research, we have to go for the data or population of users. So, population, you are going to do the research. Where you are going to do the research? If you are going to have a research problem on plants in diseases on plants, so we have to take samples or we have to take population of group of sample, group of plants with affected or non-affected. That is not a problem. We have to take a domain where we are going to do a research. That is a next step. Okay. Next one, sample collection. What is slight difference between previous one and this one? This is a smallest area. Even though in our example, COVID patients, we are having lakhs and lakhs of patients are already affected, and some of them are still in treatment like that. But we are taking a sample. Affected patients may be 1,000, but we are taking only 100 or 50 or 100 at a maximum of 50 in a small portion from an entire structure. Entire structure may be of different. Entire structure of may be different. That may be 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs in that particular district or in a particular city, like that. But we have to take a smaller portion as a sample selection. That sample selection comes under two categories of sampling. One is probability and non-probability. That probability sampling involves the random selection, allow you to make a strong statistical inference about the whole group. So entire group will be processed, and we have taken some of the small sample from entire group by having a strong statistical inferences. That is the probability. Random selection. Then next second one is the non-probability, where involves a non-random selection based on the convenience and other criteria, allowing you to easily collect data. Well, that is when we take the same example, we can't get the information of all over the India. We can take a small sample of Tamil Nadu. Then we can take a particular district or particular city or particular street. That street, single street, we can have as a sample, small samples. Single street is in a small sample. It is audible? Everyone is listening? Anyone kindly answer me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. Any issues?
No, sir. No, sir.
No
issues, sir.
It is clear, no? No.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can hear your voice clearly, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. This kind of interaction to be done because we are in online mode, no? So that I want to check whether any disturbance is there. Like that, I want to check. No, nothing. Okay, we can go ahead. Thank you. Sample selection. We are taking an entire process into a small one. From the entire process, we are taking a small one of 50 to 100. That too in a two-way method, probability or non-probability, that can be decided by us. Next one is the ethical consideration. When we are dealing with other type of data, our data not belongs to us. For example, we are taking a satisfactory level of teachers working in a college and students' performance are in a particular subject. For example, data communication network or relational management, something else. We are taking in a particular subject, particular college, particular class. Like that, when we are taking a sample, we have to get a ethical consideration. What is that ethical consideration? It's nothing. We have to get a legal permission from the organization as well as the participants, because it should not affect their rights. We have to respect their rights, because someone don't want to expose their COVID positive cases. We found these cases in previous months and years. Everyone initially were afraid to say that we are affected by COVID. Like that, some students or some participants or some data won't allow us to say these things to all. So we have to get an ethical consideration. When we are taking a data from a hospital, we have to get a permission from them. There are so many sites we are having that informations. This much of candidates, this much of students, this much of age group 16 to 36 were affected in these 3 days or 5 days. Like that, we are having a data, but we have to get the data after getting a permission, because we have to respect their rights and Then after concluding, after finalizing, after finding the solution, that should not be an illegal one. That should be an legal one. If it should be a legal one, after getting a permission only, we can get a legal things. For that, ethical consideration is very important thing to get the permission from the organization or the participants also. Participants also, we have to get the permissions. Next one is the pilot study. A pilot study is defined as a small-scale test of methods and procedures to be used on a larger scale. A pilot study is defined as a small-scale test of methods and procedures to be used on a larger scale. Even though we are going to process 1 GB of data or 2 GB of data or 25 years of data, when we are going with the historical data, that may be for 30 years, 50 years. But we can't be able to go for the 50 years at the initial stage. By having a total of 50 years, we can take a small sample or small scale for 2 years or like for 3 years. Then we can expand our research. After getting an appropriate result on our work, we can go with the larger scale. That is the pilot study. It is like a rehearsal. For example, when we are conducting a convocation in our college, we used to do that every previous day or day before yesterday. Everyone has to assemble like a same thing what to be done on the convocation day or college day. In convocation, though no mistakes will be done and everything will be fine. So there is no need for going for another rehearsal. We will go with that. If we find any some mistakes or unwanted thing or if a timing process, if time is missed, then we have to go for another thing. Like that, we have to go with a smaller data of the same method and same procedure. What we are going to do for the larger data and larger volume of huge amount of data. The method should be same, and procedure should be same, but the volume will be less. Why? Because we have to find an appropriate solution. After this study only, we can go the data collections. Previously, what we have done are formulation of problem, that is identification of problem, and then review of literature, hypothesis, design, overall design, what like a house plan we have to do. Then specific population is the data where we are going to work, in which data we are going to work. Where we have to say that in what data we are going to do a research. That is a population. Then sample will be lesser amount. Taking a small sample of data and do the entire process. That is for two types, probability and non-probability. Then we will come for an ethical consideration where the legal points to be clarified before starting work. Then now we are in a pilot study stage. In that stage, a small scale test method and procedure to be used for a larger scale. Even we are going to deal with 100 GB of data, but it should be done in a smaller volume in order to identify the mistakes and remove the unwanted things, like a function as a rehearsal to be done, or it can be say as a small study or rough study before an entire process to be done. Next one is the data collection. Collecting information. Here I have mentioned the phone survey, online survey, in-person interview. These are the among the methods of data collection. There are so many methods. You can have a interview, questions, observation. Observation is there. Collecting information for our research. It may be a sample or entire. No, it should be an entire process. A huge amount of data to be collected before the process to be started. So data collection should be there. The data collection, for example, we are collecting a data from the students. What will you do? Teachers has to give a question paper, students has to answer the questions, and then it should be evaluated by the teacher and the data to be formulated. How many students appeared, what are the papers they have handled or they have returned their exams, practical theory, like that. We have to have an data. Interview for uneducated people. When we are dealing with the rural areas or uneducated people, we have to get the data, but they can't able to write the questionnaire or write the answers for our question. So in that occasion, we have to go with the interview. We have to ask the questions. Whether you are, where are you, at what are the ages, what is the age, and what's your father. Like that, you have to get the information from them, and we have to write, and we have to, after getting the information, it should be turned to our module or a tabular column. Like that, we have to go with these things. Next one is the observation. There, this observation will be employed. Will be employed. Means the observation, the psychiatrist, the patients. When we are going for a data on patients, especially on psychiatrists, there we have to go for their observation. What are the questions you have asked, but they will not never answer, but they will respond to your question. By their response, we have to observe and get the informations. And nowadays, nowadays, these are the three easy getting information. By knowing or unknowingly, they are getting the informations. For example, phone survey, online survey, in-person interview. High confidence, need to hire an agencies. Phone survey. In phone survey, they used to call us over a phone and get the information of us, and they will sort it out, and whoever is asking the data, they will give the data. This is a one way of collecting a data. Next one, online service. Self-managed data accuracy need internet. These are the things. Internet should be there. This is the disadvantages of online survey. This high confidence phone survey, we need an agencies, because every call we can't able to make a single person. We can make, but it will take a time. If data collection exceed for 2 years, then our entire research will go for 10 years. For that reason, we want to take a data from through phone survey. We have to hire agencies and we have to pay something, so that they will make they will have a call center. Like that, they will have a structure. They will employ some people, 20 to 30 people every day. They will call for 100 to 500 people, then get the data, then they will give it to us. That is a high confidence data with agencies as a disadvantages. And next one is the online survey. Data accuracy will be there, but we need an proper internet connection, so that the response to be saved. Okay. Next one, in person will be the what we are dealing on, that is interview. In depth collection of data will be there, but the time will be more. The time will be more, because every data or every person has to answer 40 to 50 questions based upon the data to be collected from them. If you are taking 60 questions, it will take one staff or one student has to answer 60 questions. It will take 10 minutes. We can go with 50 or 30 per day, but we are need of 30,000 or 40,000 data. So the entire process to be carried out with the time will be more, consuming process will be more. But the answer will be in very depth manner. We can get the data, because one-to-one correspondence is there. In person, we are calling them. If they are not interested, they will switch off. They will cut off their calls. So we will get the entire process to be done within a stimulated time, but it will be in a high time-consuming process. So data collection is nothing but a known information we are collecting from outsourcing from the sources like teachers, students, educated or uneducated, rural or urban, like that, any else we can go ahead with these things and can collect the informations. Okay, in the mode of interview, questions and observations. Nowadays, there are a lot of online servers and online service providers are there. They are giving lot of data for their informations to be shared with us. In order to get the information, we will log on and get the data of huge amount of data will be there. Whether the data is correct or not, that will be not a problem. We will get a data. We will get a data, and that data we have to work on this. So here are the three comparison I have done: phone survey, online survey, in-person interview. Next one is the analysis and interpretation. This is the area where you are going to deal with the data with your appropriate subjects. When it comes under the computer science, so many algorithms or so many methods, so many mathematics, statistical methods are like that, tools and everything to be done. Hello. Yes, some disturbance I have received on phone call, so I have got it. Okay. Okay, it's audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Sorry for disturbance. Now, data analysis interpretation is the next step of our research steps. In this area, we have to examine the evaluation, the data, examine or evaluation of the data, like evaluating the answer papers. For example, some of them are teachers, or most of them are teachers. We will go for this example, evaluating the answer papers. Evaluating the answer paper, we will get the marks. That is not a issue on data analysis. Data analysis is the arrangement in particular order for interpretation. For example, in that mark sheet, we used to have a student name, roll number, and then language 1, language 2, allied, major, practical, like that. Or in chronological order will be there. Based upon the order, all the data to be present here. Even though we are collecting a data in any order, that before interpretation, before evaluating the process, we have to analyze the data and find putting the data in a particular manner or particular arrangements. In a particular manner or in particular arrangements, so that it is capable of us to interpret on the data, so that only we can able to find the data. So we have the data analysis is nothing but examine or evaluation the data. It's like evaluating the answer paper. We have to get the data and we have to arrange the data. While arranging only, we can able to find the missing data. So if any missing data is there, we can remove or we can go ahead with that. We have to decide. That is the interpretation. Should be arranged in an understanding manner. Because in first column, it shows the number of the student. In second question paper, second person who collect the data has a field as name. First one is a roll number. Second one is the name. Third one is the subjects. But the person collected the data has wrongly marked as name, roll number. Instead of roll number name, he marked as name, roll number. So it should be rectified before implemented. Because if all the roll numbers are starting out, we have find that some in the roll number place we found some the name of the student. So it should not be like that. So we have to arrange and then we have to interpret on data which one is correct and which one will be the opt one. Which one will be the opt one? Like that, we have to go ahead with these things. For that, these things we have to go like this. Okay. Next one. After everything is over, we have to in that previous slide we have data interpretation, and we have formed the data. We have formed the data, and the data has been analyzed and interpreted, and we got a solution. That solution to be published, so that we have to get positive or negative remarks. That for that purpose, we are having so many uh, agencies or so many resources are there. We can post our paper or surrender our paper in a Scopus or a Catalyst or elsewhere, Web of Science, like that. So many people, so many persons are there to educate or to show our findings to be displayed in this manner, or we can publish through our ISBN books. What are the findings or what are the methods? I didn't touch that method or way of approaching or way of solution for that. These are the steps. In this step only we are going to find data collection, then data analysis only we are going to find the algorithm or any model to be formed. That is the step here. But after finding that, you can be any subject, any subjects you can come across, or you can be in English or Tamil literature or anything else. You have to show your results to public via these kind of things. It is a reputed and recognized thing to do your findings. Okay. First, these are the steps. These are the steps for our research, identification of research problem. For that, you have to find the exact problem. You have to find the exact problem in 2 or 3 lines. You have to be very familiar with the problem, what you are going to do. Then, based on that problem, you have to get the related literature review. There is a known already solved solutions or already published papers. It may be taken from books or journals or anything else, but the data to be related to your research to be formulated under hypothesis, then the design whole plan here from day 1 to day 10 or year 1 to year 5. You have to form an entire design, getting the information, processing the information, and getting the result. And after getting the result, it to be published. Then a specific population. The population is the area where you are going to work. That is a domain. Next, sample. Sample selection. We can't go for entire thing to be sampled before the work. So you take a 50 or 100 sample of the same domain. You process and find a small solution for that. Then the solution, what the solution you got, that can be implemented for the huge data. That is the sample selections. Next, ethical. That is a legal thing. You have to get the permission. When you are going for agriculture data, you have to get the departmental approval, and after that only you have to publish the data. And while publishing, you have to put that sources are taken from this government site or this office. Like that, you can put. That is not a problem, but you have to get the ethical consideration. Then pilot study, data collection. Data collection, various methods, interview, questionnaire, or nowadays we are come across in many Google Forms. So many of the scholars are sending the Google form. Kindly fill the Google form so that I can get the information about you, and that will be very much useful for me to do the research. Like that, they are sending the information. Next, last one is the data analysis and interpretation. This is a method where we are going to process. How we are the data going to be processed, examined, or evaluate. After evaluating the informations, interpretation, we find then a solution. That solution should be communicated to public. Via, for example, we have given as a via so many things. Scopus, UGC CARE, elsewhere, Web of Science, like that. We have given so many things in that area, or otherwise we will go for a conference in so many colleges, so many engineering colleges or arts and science. They are organizing a national or international conference. Like that, you have to go and present your findings and publicity, make a publicity of over your projects or results. Okay. By this, I wish to conclude my things of entire steps. These are steps. These are steps to come across for the research process, and uh, finally it's an end. Okay. Thank you. Any queries, any issues or anything, you just make a mail to me. I will be free to answer you, or any need or any help in this regard, finding a difficulty in finding the research university admission or like that. You can get the information from all the site. All the universities are giving a full information in their site, the duration, fees, and the availability of teachers, availability of guide, and everything is will be there. So no issues. Beyond that, you are having any issues in finding the process, you just mail me. I can help you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir. Okay, sir. We can conclude the today's session, sir.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you for your wonderful presentation, sir. Sir, can you please stop your presentation, sir, so that we can take a photo, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dear
Yes.
participants, once again,
Sir,
please.
sir, one second, sir. One second. As a formal note, I want to say my sincere thanks to the St. Joseph College Principal Dr. Ruben sir and your department HODs and faculty members for giving me this opportunity to present and say a few words about the research process, as well as I want to say my sincere thanks to our college who wholeheartedly they permitted me to do this in their working hours. Thanks a lot. And for the entire process, the participants are in the maximum strength of 70 or like that. Everyone is watching sincerely. For them also, I want to say my sincere thanks. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, once again, can you please turn on your camera for a few minutes so that we can take a snap. Dear participants, can you please turn on your camera for a few seconds? Thank you. Thank you so much for. Thank you, sir and ma'am. It's a time to thank our resource person and the participants as well. I would like to call Mr. I.S. Bisky, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Application, to deliver a vote of thanks. Bisky, sir, are you there, sir? Sir, Bisky, sir? Sir, Bisky, sir, we can't hear your voice, sir. It's a time to deliver a vote of thanks.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Now we.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Good evening, all. Honorable Resource Person Dr. N. Manoharan, Head, Department of Computer Application, Patamal Allegation College. I am really privileged to deliver the vote of thanks on this fourth day of 5 days faculty development program on research methodology and data analysis. So First of all, I would like to thank Almighty, and I would like to thank our administrator and principal. Then I would like to thank our today's resource person, Dr. N. Manoharan, head Department of Computer Application. Really, it was a wonderful session. You really share your knowledge towards the research, sir. Thank you very much for this knowledge sharing session. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
a special thanks to you because Dr. N. Manoharan is the backbone because he invited most of the resource person. So on this occasion, I would like to mention the special thanks to you, sir, on behalf of Department of Computer Application and Department of Computer Science, sir. Thank you very much,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the heads of various departments, faculty members, and technical team. And I will extend my sincere thanks to the participants who are participated in this fourth day of FTP program. Thank you, one and all. So we will connect in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow is the last day. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I think now only the feedback is posted. Each and everyone requested to fill the feedback. After filling the feedback, you can close the connection. Is it correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, kindly note that. Kindly fill out the feedback form, then you disconnect your connections. Thank you.
Dear participants, feedback form posted in the message box. So kindly find that link without fail.